Hi there, I'm Colin, and today I'm going to be giving you a full behind the scenes look at how we like to structure websites for our home service clients. This is going to cover everything from the design to the structure to the SEO and the CRO and all the other O's. So go ahead and stay tuned, and hopefully you find this content valuable. Thank you. All right, thank you for joining me. Let's go ahead and dive right in here. The example website that I'll be using today is a landscaping website that we built for one of our clients. But the general structure is pretty applicable no matter what home service company you're going to be advertising for, whether you own the home service company or you're building it on behalf of a home service company, really doesn't make a difference. So let's go ahead and jump in. Here's just the high level structure of the way that I prefer to build these sites. Starting with the home page, the phrase that's underneath the page here is what you want to be targeting from an SEO perspective. So in this case, this client, they're located in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So we're targeting Grand Rapids landscaping from their home page. For their first service page, we're going to be targeting Grand Rapids custom landscape design, then Grand Rapids lawn care, Grand Rapids flower bed services. This is just a general good tip for when you're building out these sites, whether you're doing it yourself or you're paying somebody to do it. For each of these main pages that you want to get picked up by a search engine, you want people to be finding it. Use the language that people will be searching for. So, in the landscaping industry, it's very common to call this design build or, design build install, something like that. You want to be finding what phrases people are actually using to search for these things and then titling your pages appropriately. So in this case, it's custom landscape design. Another thing I ran into, especially with landscaping, was a lot of landscapers will talk about hardscaping. Most people don't know what hardscaping is, so talk about patios, retaining walls, things like that. Terms that people will actually search for. That's what you want to be putting on your website. So just a small tip, but overall, here's the overall structure. As you can see, this is just, the different link paths that we have. But the goal of everything is to route all of the visitors that go on your site. You either want them to be filling out your contact form, and I have a small thing here to embed your ops system. So an ops system is something that I talk about a lot in my content, but we recommend Jobber. You can use Service Titan or, whatever similar product you want. But the idea here is that you want to make sure that the information is flowing into your ops system if you have one. So it's a very good idea to embed your contact form in your website if you're using an ops system. Otherwise, this would just be an email. Or you either want them to be clicking on your phone number to actually give you a call. So let's go ahead and hop into what this looks like here with the homepage. So this is just an example site that we've built recently for a client of ours. But you can see when you first get to the homepage, the only two actions that are really highlighted here are to call them directly or to go to their contact page. So that's what you want to be keeping in mind as you're designing all of these pages is you always want to be giving the visitor of your website an obvious next step to take. And you really want to be always pushing this into their face as much as you can. So just make it completely simple. That way, if they see something and they're like, oh, I'd love to learn more, they always have the action right there in front of them. They don't have to work at all. Because really that's what conversion is about, is you want to just lower the barrier to converting into a potential lead as much as you can. So let's go ahead and look at what the homepage structure of this looks like. So the way that we prefer to structure these here is we like to have what's called the hero section. So you'll see this here. It's just a nice image. In this case, it's an image of the front of this landscaper's location, their main office. And then you want to have your nice big title. Again, from an SEO perspective, you want to be calling out what service you're providing and who you're providing it for. And then your big bold calls of action, draw their attention. You want them to click. So on mobile, here's what it looks like. It's slightly different. But again, we want to draw their attention to a clickable phone number. So if you're on your phone and you click on this, it will actually bring up your dialer and you will call them. You don't want them to have to copy and paste your phone number or anything like that. And then also, obviously, the click to contact. So that's where you're going to be starting. You have your hero section. From there, you've got your subtitle section, which is just a block of text about your company. So in this case, it's just a little bit of a blurb about the history of the company and a link to their About Us page, which gives you more information about them. From there, you flow into the services section, which is just a list of the different services that they offer. In this case, again, you want to be using terms that people will actually search for. So you have custom landscape design, flower bed services, lawn care services, all the different landscaping things. So having these card layouts is very common in web design. You're going to see this all over the place. A small tip for you if you're trying to do this yourself, as you can see, there's a very slight background color difference between the different cards here. So you'll see there's a very slight off gray, and then we go back to white. That's just a small thing, but it helps to visually break up the information. So I highly recommend you do something like that if you're going to be laying out this sort of consistent flow of information. So from here, you can see for each card, for every service that we're offering here, we're always giving people a link to go and learn more about the service. So if we go and look at our diagram here, all of these service pages are going to link out to an individual service page. So make sure, again, you're always giving somebody an easy next step to do. So from there, let's go ahead and look. We've got a gallery section here. So just some images of past work from the client, and then you can link out to their gallery page, which in this case is just a long list of images that people can go through and view and, be able to see a larger image of all that kind of stuff. So the gallery page in this case was pretty simple. I think that's usually a good place to start. If you really want to invest more time and potentially money into a website, you can build out a full case studies page. But typically just for getting started on your website, having a gallery is a great start. So from there, we like to include a where we serve section just to make sure that people know, okay, maybe they don't live in Grand Rapids, but if they live in a surrounding area of Grand Rapids, they know that they can still get serviced. And then lastly, in this case, this is a little bit of a larger company. So they're always going to be looking to hire people. If you're in the same situation, having a call out for a careers page with an application, all that kind of stuff is very helpful. So, and then finally, you can see on our website structure, we go to services, gallery, areas of services, careers, and then a call to action. Another thing I'll quickly mention is it's really helpful to have a section on social proof. And what social proof means is usually just having some kind of a banner saying, reviews from some of your customers. Usually it's a good place to put like 5-star reviews, things like that. In this case, this company has been around for 70 years, just about. And so they don't need to worry nearly as much as other home service companies about establishing that trust. They're a multi-generational family. They're known in their community. So in this case, they weren't as worried about having a social proof on their page, but for a lot of other companies, usually a good idea to have that. So that's the homepage. And like I said, if there's anything that you're confused about, please just let me know. So yeah, that leads us to the CTA section, which is the final section here at the bottom. And that's just, again, you want to always give somebody the next step here. So they get to the bottom of the page, they see the CTA, and then they click to go to the Contact Us page. And that is it for the homepage. So let's quickly hop over to the service page here. All right, so taking a look at our first service page, this is our custom landscape design. And you can see very similar setup with the hero section to what we talked about before. We have a nice image. We have a call to action here to go to the contact page. From there, we have a similar subtitle section that just talks about what makes our service different, what makes us stand out. And then the next section that I like to include is a process section. So what should they expect if they do contact us? So I usually like to include this on all the service pages. That way they understand, what to expect from there. If they're going to fill out this contact form, what's going to happen? So giving a nice overview, quick overview of what the process looks like. And then in this case, we have a certification section. You could think of this as an authority building section, whatever you want to put. In this case, it's certifications and awards. And then for this specific service, they have additional sub-services that fall under this that they wanted to include. So that was listed here. But for a lot of people, you might not have additional components, or you might not have additional sub-pages, rather. So in this case, each of these leads to an additional sub-page that follows a very similar structure here. But maybe you don't have those individual, or you don't need those individual component pages. You can just go ahead and have your page, using that same card-based layout that we saw on the homepage. You can just describe the different types of services you offer as part of this. So in this case, we were just looking at custom landscape design. A sub-service of that is going to be ponds and water features. So again, hero section, a subtitle section that talks about your differentiators, and then you're just going to have individual cards for all the different components of this service that you offer. And as always, you always end with your nice CTA banner here saying, contact us to start your next project. So that pretty much covers the service pages. Let's quickly zoom through the gallery and about you pages. We already looked at the gallery page, but we'll talk about that again briefly here. So again, in this case, I think this is a great way to just get a gallery page out there. Just go ahead and put a whole bunch of images of your service that people can scroll through. I think this is a great starting point. And then from there, you can just, again, you always end with the CTA. You always want to end with the CTA. So that's the gallery page, the About You page. Again, it's not hugely important here, but it could be a nice way to connect with some potential visitors. So, but again, these are typically not highly trafficked pages, so it can be helpful to have something here, but don't sweat too much about it. So again, this just has a quick history, a mission banner, a vision banner, and then ending with the call to action. So the last thing I'll quickly touch on here is the mobile view. So, the sections here are pretty much the same, but you want to make sure that your mobile layout works just as smoothly as your desktop layout. So just quickly looking at this, in this case, we always stack the phone number here up at the top. That way it's always easy when somebody's on their phone. It's very easy for them to just quickly click and call, just so that way, like if they're ever scrolling through and they see something really interesting and they just want to be able to get in touch, it's extremely easy for them to do that. So again, you can see from our desktop to the mobile version, the cards just stack up. So the images go here, but you can see you have that same kind of slight difference in background just to break up the information a little bit. So we'll keep scrolling through here, but again, this is all kind of what you would expect. You just want to make sure your mobile view works just as nicely as your desktop view. You want your mobile visitors to be, to have a good experience. So, that is about it. Oh, the last thing I'll touch on here is the nav bar and the footer. So in this case, in our footer, we just have a logo, some information about the company, links to socials, and then some different links for the various services that we've already talked about, and, a couple other boilerplate things. A quick thing to note on this is you'll notice up top, both on the desktop version and on the mobile version, we do not put any links to socials, and that is very intentional. It's very easy, and I'm sure you'll probably notice this if you realize it, but if you go and visit a website and you first get there and you see that, oh, hey, they have a link to their Facebook or something up here, chances are you'll click on it and you'll go and see their Facebook, and then all of a sudden you'll see, oh, hey, I've got a couple notifications, and you go look at that, and then you're not making it back to their website anytime soon. So do not put anything up here that is going to bring them out of your site and distract them. So keep them here, keep them engaged, make it very easy for them to contact you, to get in touch about getting service, and don't send them off to, Facebook dopamine hook land. You don't want them to get distracted. So keep your social links in the bottom, in the footer. Keep your nav bar clean. Just make sure that it's only either links to your other pages on your site or your call to actions. And that is about it. You can see again, if you expand the mobile nav bar here, we always have a nice, easy way to get in touch with our company. So, yep, that is about it. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to use the link below in the description to contact us. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it.